Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Drawing and Talking with me, Freebie Wits, your host. And today we're taking a look at our first roleplay repository character in a long while. Her name is Cécile, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. For all I know, it could be Cecil or Cecile. Cecile? Cécile. Cecile. Either way, her name is Cécile, or more specifically, that's her alias. Her true name is Amnariel Arduin. Darwin? Amnariel Ardoin. It's a very fantasy-esque name. Gender, female. Age is 71, however she appears to be mid-20s by human standards. That's right, she is not human. Her race is something called Actius. Actius? There's a lot of hard-pronounced words here. At least for me. Her hair is described as very long, pale, and aquamarine. Her eyes are considered to be large and pink. In her personality section, and I'm quoting a lot here, with her noble background and decades of etiquette and academic study, Cécile is an intelligent, charismatic, and well-spoken woman. She can read the room and adjust her approach on the fly. She's easily able to charge those receptive to it, and knows when to back away from negotiations. She may initially seem standoffish or shy, she doesn't know who she can trust, and every new connection could just be somebody who wishes to collect the bounty on her head. She's slow to open up and reveals little about herself, not only her history, but even mundane thoughts and feelings such as likes and dislikes. Once she warms to someone, she's revealed to be far less confident and self-assured as she tries to present herself. She's alone in the universe, her home possibly lost to her forever. She's scared, lost, and insecure. Now that alone is quite a lot of information for a roleplay character, at least as far as prompts go anyways. But there's another section listed simply as Moon Princess. Amnariel was born on a moon by the name of Equinus, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, circling a planet called Visaris. As the firstborn of the noble family, Amnariel lived a life of luxury and was expected to someday take over from her mother and rule their kingdom. The Atacius Kingdom, that's the race of her moth people, the Atacius Kingdom was a society of winged humanoids with some minor telekinetic ability. Like all kingdoms throughout the universe, there had been turmoil, times of poverty, times of war, but the era Amnariel had been born into was a largely peaceful and prosperous one. When Amnariel was just a child, a spacefaring race called the Ramalocks made contact with their civilization. They were a race of horned humanoids who had been traveling the cosmoses for many generations. It was discovered that a plant that grew upon their moon affected the Ramalocks in strange ways. It greatly enhanced their magical ability and was mildly addictive. This plant had the scientific name Celestris Marilandica, but soon became commonly known as Silverleaf. The trade between the two people were amiable? Yes, amiable at first. The Ramalocks traded technical knowledge and vast sums of money for the Silverleaf, and in that very short period of time, the Atacius became a wealthy spacefaring race. However, decades later, the relationship soured. The Ramalocks claimed that all of their agreements were mutual and made in good faith. The Atacius merely disposed a noble family which was holding the race back, an internal conflict that they had no part in. With their far-reaching influence and powerful standing throughout the galaxy, many races only know this version of the story. Most Ataciuses see it differently, however. The Ramalocks' thirst for the magical plant was so unending that they were buying it literally faster than it grew. Prices soared. To keep the prices down, they bribed a sympathetic general who would fix the price of the resource and create vast plantations. The coup was unexpected, ruthless, and swift. Amnariel's mother and father and younger siblings were slaughtered, but Amnariel, through naught but good luck, was whisked away by one of her retainers and sent into space as the castle burned. Most people don't know about the plight of the small moon. The Atacius's leaders are merely puppets to the Ramalock race. Vast silverleaf plantations have been created all over the planet, and almost the entire population cultivates the plant in hard forced labor. Space travel is no longer possible to and from the planet without the Ramalocks' knowledge and approval. The coup went perfectly, if not for Amnariel's escape. Having a widely popular princess alive and well is a variable that they once sorted, so they have placed a large bounty upon her head. Amnariel now goes by the name of Cécile and hops from planet to planet, running from her life from the bounty hunters constantly seeking her out. She is poor and may no longer acknowledge her noble status. She aspires to find allies and negotiate an army to free her people from the Ramalok's grasp. For now, it is a distant dream. Keeping herself alive is often challenging enough. So, as far as characters go, the plot hooks are all there. The issue is that she is clearly a main character in every single way. There's the big thing about the moon, you've got the big bad guys, and a big race of them. Can she be a secondary character in another story? In theory, yes, but the primary threat would generally have to be bigger. Don't get me wrong. You can have a side character, you can have a main character who stumbles in on Amniriel's plot and have the focus be from this other character's point of view for said story, but the actual story itself would still revolve around Amnariel's backstory and these Ramalok dudes who are very bad people in general. The backstory just feels like a weird version of what happened to China and opium and English trade and such, except the Chinese got the opium and won the opium wars. It's an interesting, weird way, or more specifically, actually no. The British are the ones who really wanted tea leaves, and they kind of won by making China addicted to opium, or more specifically, they forced China to buy all their opium instead of using the silver that they didn't really have, I guess. This analogy is kind of falling apart. Anyways, moving along on to the more roleplay side of things, from what I can tell, once again, Amnariel is a very specific kind of character. In a very specific kind of scenario, you can only do so many kinds of role plays. Don't get me wrong, you can have many different themes, different genres and such with her, but the backstory is always going to be the same no matter what. That said, you could change it so the Ramaloks aren't that wide-reaching, aren't as powerful. They could be a big fish in a small pond. They could be the lords of this specific part of the universe, this specific small part of the galaxy. So while their reach and all the information coming in and out of that area is limited to them, with them having the monopoly on information power in this part, the rest of the galaxy could have a bunch of other different threats made by a bunch of different other players. It would be like any role-play community, a joint effort. Now, would you make a good tabletop character? Yeah, this is pretty par of the course. You're literally a noble on the run. This is amazing stuff for the GM, Game Master, because they could take all these ideas and literally send bounty hunters at the players. And here's the kicker with the bounty hunters. They may not know the whole story. If I was a Ramalok and I wanted a princess gone because, well, they were a princess, I would not tell the bounty hunters that they're after a princess. I would tell them something like, hey guys, there's this imposter pretending to be a princess and we want her taken down before she does much damage to our friendly allied moth people race and to us, of course. She's a fake. Please get rid of her. This also avoids the pitfall of bounty hunters becoming her allies, but that could be another roleplay situation where you could roleplay as a bounty hunter and realize, hang on, she's the real deal. I've got to help her, or at least I'm not taking her away, or I'm going to take her away, but in time as a prisoner, she can convince me to do otherwise. And hey, she's a monarch. If she's grateful and takes back her kingdom, I could get paid lots and lots and lots. As a LARP character, I suppose royalty could work, but having wings and telekinetic powers aren't really a thing in LARP. I mean, you can't really fly in real life. The only way you'd be able to do that is to mark certain areas of the ground as impossible unless you have wings. And telekinetic powers don't really work in LARP, once again, unless, I don't know, you have magnets and such. But it would be relegated to parlor LARPs, I suppose. You can't really use it in combat per se as easily, or at least live action situations, but then again, the profile does say the telekinetic powers are pretty minor, so it could work, just at a toned down rate. Anyways, This has been a drawing and talking video about this moon moth princess, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.